Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan from Sports Card Radio. That's right, we do have a special bonus episode of the R-Rated podcast. While I was at the 2018 Topps Transcendent Party in Coldlanta, Georgia, had an opportunity after the party to sit down with Doug and Dan from Mojobreak.com and Rich and Sara from Layton Sports Cards.com. And we have a kind of a wide-ranging discussion, mostly about kind of the current state of group breaking, which is something we often talk about on this show. So I thought it was fun to sit down with two of the top group breakers in the entire industry. And here is that conversation. Now keep in mind, this is very late after the Transcendent Party. So many free cocktails on Topps' dime had been consumed. And if you listen to this podcast, you also know that I consume the now legal herbal green medicine that is provided by the state of California and the state of Nevada. So hope you enjoy the conversation. Again, myself, Doug and Dan from Mojobreak.com, and Rich and Sara from LaytonSportsCards.com. Hope you enjoy.
Here's a question for you guys, because I think Hank's main topic, kind of his theme was like, these guys, like Sara said, these guys today, they don't earn their money. Hank had calluses on his hands, and he made $11,000, and he had to kind of earn this money. Whereas today, guys get, $10 million right off the draft, and they don't have to work for it. You guys, you're not professional baseball players, but you're successful group breakers. We're here in Atlanta at this Topps Transcendent Party. You guys could theoretically say that you're, the Hank Aaron of the group breaker industry. Do you feel like you still get up and work as hard today with the success you had as when you first started? Like when Hank Aaron was a rookie, the guy was probably grinding all the time. But when you started getting those checks, like players today, you don't work as hard. You guys are kind of at the top tier of the, the breaking game. There's probably a ton of guys who want to be just like you. Do you feel like, I'm kind of interested, do you guys feel like you still work as hard as, say what? Well, we're going back 6 or 7 years now.
All right, I'll start with that.
Go ahead.
I actually think the bigger you get, the more you move, the more product you move, the harder you work. Yes. Like 100%. Like
it's skills.
And basically, it's more money, more problems.
Yep.
The more you do, the harder you got to do. Like we, and you guys as well, get compared to like group breakers who do one case break, and they're like, well, that guy got it out in one day. I'm all, well, that guy did one break. We've done fucking 120 breaks this week. How the hell can I get that product out as fast as Joe Blow? Of course he can get out in one day. If we were doing one break, we can get it out in one day. But the reason why you came to us is because you know the product's going to fill. You know the break is going to fill. You know you're going to get your cards. You know the transparency. You know the production quality. You know all this. But we can't be that guy who does one break and be all the rest of the things at the same time. Like, we can't. I would love to get everything out in one day. But to answer your question, the bigger you get, the harder you got to work. And
is it harder to do that? Like when in the beginning you're just like pounding the pavement and you're just excited. Now you've had some success. You have a customer base, that money's coming in. Is it harder to get up every day and kind of meet that?
It's never, like, the thing is that, like, from a personal standpoint, I love what I do. There's probably a million people out there that fucking can't stand me. They fucking despise everything I fucking do.
We all know that story.
And the thing is that, like, I'm not worried about that. But I do 100% love what I do. I want to see it get bigger. I want to see the good people in this industry succeed. And I know, being in it for as long as I've been in it, like, that in this industry there's a lot of whistleblowers. The people who who do some shady shit, unlike any other industry I've ever been a part of, they get caught instantly.
Breakers? Are you talking about breakers?
I'm talking about breakers.
Okay.
Breakers, like if somebody does anything shady, it's
everywhere in
you have more whistleblowers than I think it's unlike any other industry where like people are just like, you have a mob of fucking people who are just going to attack you. Like people who are like going to like research your family and fucking find out where you live, and like it's a blessing. It's a blessing because it really weeds out the fucking shit is what it does. Like the people who do it right, like we don't have to worry about that because we've never had any like shitty or like shady like mindset. We were growing this to do it the legitimate way. But people get fucking chastised. Like the Brandon Cooks guy, that guy got death threats. That guy, his family, like people were contacting like his like wife's work. Like people were calling his wife's work. Like it fucking gets bad.
Over a card.
Like I'm going to fucking kill you.
Over a card.
And the ironic thing is that it's not even people who are involved. It's people who just want to have a pitchfork and just fucking go after.
Mob mentality.
Like I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be the end all be all.
Right.
It's abrasive.
I think the biggest thing for me over 8 years of what we've been doing is the fact that like the manufacturers have control of the value, and that's the hardest thing for a breaker is to be like, okay, we're gonna stand behind this product, but we can't because it sucks. Because the manufacturers, especially Panini overall, has gotten to the point where they're like, you know what, we're gonna like make half-ass products, and we're not gonna provide the value because we have to commit so much to this product for the NBA. We have to make so many releases, and we're going to have 3 good releases, and we're going to have 12 bad releases. And that's the hardest part of the breaker is that, like, we're promoting this product for the customer, and, like, there's just not enough value in the product. And that's what happens when they release these bad products. And, you take it to heart because you feel for everybody because they're all your friends. You're doing breaks. These guys have, been with you as a customer for a certain period of time, and you're like, this product missed the mark.
Is that hard for you too, Rich? Like to sell something that you don't believe in, I guess, or it's just a shitty product? Like I'm sure you have to do that. How do you feel about that? How many products are shitty? Like out of 10, how many are shitty in general?
I'd say
first off,
how many would you buy?
Shitty's
relative, but
no, I mean,
shitty is relative.
It's
we have customers that I might feel a product is shitty and they like it.
Right.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
There's people that like every product. We have customers who like every single product. They just like it for whatever reason they do. They like it for collectability, from a player standpoint, from a team standpoint, whatever it might be. There's many reasons they may collect that product over whatever else. I've always been, as you guys very well know, and everybody here probably already knows, we've always been brutally honest with our customer base. Brutally. Probably to a fault. And actually, I know to a fault. Where we have been forced to take a bad product to get a good product.
Take a bad product from a distributor? Is that what you're talking about?
From a distributor to get a good product from a distributor. On a large level.
Okay.
You take X amount of X, we'll give you X amount of Y. Okay? Where I'm not gonna hide that from our customer base, where I know other people do every day.
They hide the fact that they're getting a special deal, that they're taking this shitty
deal,
stuff to get the good stuff.
They're going to take that special stuff and they're going to mix it in, they're going to do this with it and do that with it, and they're going to find ways and get creative by moving that product. Whereas we've always been like, hey guys, I know you want to do flawless. you want to do this flawless product, or you want to do this high-end product, whatever it might be. Okay? I've gone out and I've gotten more of it. However, to get it, they made me buy this. So if you want to get into this, here's this. This is my position. This is where we're at.
And to be fair, the product that he has to buy, we're like doing it at a loss to give good value to the customers, right?
And a major loss.
Yeah.
Major loss.
So wait a second. How do you when you're talking and you're working out this deal? Okay, I'll take these 10 cases to get these other 10 cases. Are you doing math in your head? Or are you saying, hey, no, hang on 5 minutes?
Not in my head.
How are you deciding whether or not that's a good business move for you?
Okay, so one, customer demand. I will always do what my customers demand me to do, not ask. We have a few requests here, we have a few requests there, and I'm always trying to meet those requests as well within my needs, without, overstepping my boundaries. However, if 50 of my customers, or 40 or whatever, 100 of my customers say, we need to do this product, and the only way for me to get it is by doing what they call a combo deal to get it, I'm going to get it. 10 times out of 10, there's no question.
Do you sometimes break even or lose money on breaks, or like how many breaks are profitable, I guess?
That's hard to say.
On the like when you're taking 10 of the shitty and 10 of the good, are you breaking even? Are you making money on that, or how do you know that you're going to make money?
Probably the end goal is probably to break even
on combo deals.
On the combo deal, on the product that you had.
Like I said, it's about customer demand.
Keeping the customers coming in.
Keeping them coming in, keeping them happy.
Right.
If it's a product they want, I'm going to get it. Whatever it takes, I'm going to get it. If everybody wants it, I got to have it. I can't let Breaker X have that product and not me. I've got to keep my customers intrigued. I've got to keep them happy. I've got to have the products that they want to do.
I'm curious about this. Do your customers want the same as your customers? Or are there different facets of breaking customers? Like, hey, this guy does the football, this guy does
many facets.
There's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of different facets that, it may be something where I live closer to said breaker, so I'm probably going to get my cards even sooner.
Right.
Theoretically.
Sure.
There's probably also the fact that, hey, I like going to the chat room because so-and-so also collects,
right,
and they talk about this, and I'm going to go into their chat room.
Yep.
Or I like
time of day.
I like the time of day. Or I like the said breaker. I think
like his face, and I hate his face. Bottom line.
I've got that.
Right. That actually probably nobody's ever gonna send you an email or go into your chat and be like,
they do actually.
I don't fucking like your face.
No, we got that actually not that long ago.
And actually, I mean seriously,
we had a guy in our chat room that said,
I don't like your face.
The other guy, no, he said the other guy, meaning me, who wasn't on camera at the time. The other guy seems like a dick. I was sitting there watching this transpire. I'm at the table, Brad's breaking, I'm right next to him. I'm off camera, but I'm right next to him. And I'm top loading cards, and I'm doing hitless points, and I'm doing this and that. I'm the owner of the company, mind you.
And Brad looked at you, and Brad was like,
seems like a dick.
And Brad's like, I agree.
Brad's like, he's kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick.
I would.
He just glanced over real quick and just took one look. He's like, eh.
He's all, did we just become best friends?
And I typed in the chat, you're probably right. I get it. I probably come off as brash, and I probably come off as kind of hard-nosed, and to some people, especially certain people, very certain people in the industry, I come off as arrogant. And that's okay. I'm all right with that. I really am. I can go to sleep at night knowing that people think that of me, and that's okay. But people that truly get to know me and take the time to get to know me know that arrogance actually isn't arrogance at all. It's confidence. It gets mistaken. Whereas I'm very confident in what I do. I'm very confident in my customers knowing me, and that I've told them everything about me from day one. If you go back in my newsletters and my emails, you can track them through Facebook or whatever, through what's the Time Hop thing. Everything's been done from day one for us through social media. And I've written many, many, many personal newsletters to our customer base about me. Not about my business. Nothing to do with sports cards whatsoever. Just about me. Just full 3, multi-paragraph newsletters about me. And about who I am and about what I stand for and what I believe in. That's it. And from those days, our customer base has grown and grown and grown and grown. I've always been, like I said a little while ago, brutally honest because of that. I've always I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't come from money. I don't come from any kind of background where I've been in an advantage. I've never had a situation where I've had the upper hand. I've worked for every single thing that I have, everything that I have. I've worked for it. I worked hard for it, and I think I've earned it. I'd like to think I earned it. And I don't take that for granted.
What type of hours are you guys putting in? Like, talk to me about a typical week.
I'll give you my
typical
my
schedule.
Okay, so I go to sleep about 5 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 10 every day. Every day. 7 days a week, I wake up at 10. Sometimes, if I'm not feeling well, I wake up at like 11. When I wake up, I make coffee. I go to my office in my house. It's just a spare bedroom that we converted into an office. We have one desk. On one side is a hutch that I've kind of put my laptop on and everything. It's like a kind of a computer hutch area. Sara sits behind me on the other side of the main table. That's right after we wake up. Sara starts answering emails, and I start working on the website. That lasts probably until, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We hit that point, we make some more coffee, we eat a little lunch, and then we go to work at the shop. The shop work starts from about 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon until 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3, depending on the night, what's going on. I go to sleep, I wake up, and I do that again.
How many hours? How many hours?
10 to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. What about you guys?
So basically, we're fortunate to have Conrad, who takes a lot of the
we have Bradley.
Yeah. So and basically the thing is that the way we've always built it is that Doug and we do the breaks together. It adds a little bit of banter. It adds people get to know us, and we kind of just bullshit a little bit. And I think that's kind of what has separated us for years and years and years. And that's why. That's
what drew me to you guys.
That's what's done well with the shows, the show that we do every week. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it or bullshit it. I know my role. My role, Doug basically is the person who puts that show together. I'm there to basically interact with him.
You are the Tony Romo.
But I'm also there
of that group.
Honestly, I've told people this on the show. I'm like, my job is to basically disagree with Doug.
Which you enjoy doing.
No, and a lot of times I do. I love it. I will fucking spin an argument. Even if I have nowhere to fucking stand on, I'll still do it. I'm like, I fucking love an argument. I'm like, I will fucking do this all day long. That's the dynamic. People want to tune in when people are disagreeing. People love a train wreck. They want to hear a debate.
Sure.
So we basically have Conrad. Conrad basically is, I call him the super producer. because he's the guy who basically produces the whole show, and then it's just Doug saying shit and me basically
disagreeing with the
telling
shit
him
says.
that he's an idiot,
Right.
like all the time,
Right.
like, and then he goes back and he's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Poor Doug.
No, seriously, we go back and forth. It works well, but that actually has been the way the breaks have gone. Like, that's the way from day one. That's the way we've done our breaks. Like, we always have this yin and yang type of mentality where people want that. They want to latch onto somebody. They're like, fuck that. Like, that guy fucking he thinks the same thing I do, so I'm gonna fucking latch onto him. That's my guy. That's my boy right there.
Yeah.
And there's people who feel that way about me. There's people who feel that way about Doug. Like, I don't know how many times I walk into a chat and we'll have like customers who are like, well, here comes Dan, fucking get off my lawn. The get off my lawn guys here. Like, he's just pissed off at everything. He just fucking disagrees. And I'm like, good, it's working. It's working. Like, it's working. But I have an issue personally. Like, we can probably work 40 hours a week and be each be self-sufficient and be efficient with that. I have an addictive personality, so it's very hard for me to put it down and turn it off. So I'll probably create without even knowing I'm creating more work for myself, and I do it because I just don't want to have anything to not do. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm like, I'm going to fucking create more work for myself. Like, I'm going to take on a task that really doesn't need to be done, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Like a buyback product.
Or like a live show every week that we do.
Right.
Well, it takes a shit ton of time. We do that. We don't monetize that shit at all. We literally have paid thousands of dollars to make that show happen with no monetary gain whatsoever. Which, if one person's like, I find that shit entertaining, I'm all, well,
good.
Fuck it. I'm like, I'll keep on doing it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Well, and what it breaks down for me personally is that I have a passion for this industry. I have a passion for sports, so that's what gets me through the week, because I love doing what I do. Like, I've been in sales my whole life before that, and you know, it was a grind, and I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. Like this, I enjoy because I can come in and I talk about sports. I love it, but I pretty much have a creative aspect of putting up the breaks, deciding the prices, like putting mixers, and that's fun for me in the fact that I can like put together mixers that I like know that people want to do, because like I got like a 2016 product that has Simmons, and then you know this product has Lonzo, and like everybody's covered, and like it's kind of like a creative aspect where like it's like cooking. Like I go home sometimes I enjoy to cook because like I can create what I
like
cook,
and
there's an aspect of like the creative aspect for me that's what motivates me as because I'm thinking of the customer side of it. Like, oh yeah, they may like to, like they want to buy into this, then this is how I'm going to create it for them. Like, you know, and that's what motivates me every day. And it's 7 years. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. It's hard to stay motivated in the card industry, because there's a lot of people that are upset about not getting hits. There's a lot of people upset that they spent money and they didn't get what they wanted. And you know, I understand that completely, because I've bought packs and I've not gotten what I wanted. And so I understand it's hard to relate. But at the end of the day, it's like you got to find what you like to do, and you also got to compare. Like, you got to be able to like empathize with the customer, and like, you know, like putting up breaks and like making sure that everybody has a fair chance is the number one goal. And like, if I worked another job, if I worked for somebody else, like I'd probably half-ass half the time, you know, like, but this I put half the time, and maybe even at the expense of, I've got 2 kids, so like maybe at the expense of them, like maybe I don't spend enough time with them because I'm putting up breaks for everybody. But like that's what like motivates me for the industry, and that's what keeps me kicking every day, and that's what keeps like the show keeps me happy. That's why we're doing this fucking interview right now, you know. So, and that's what keeps me going.
So an answer to the question is
about 40 hours a week.
how much time do we put
I know,
in?
I like dancing around.
How much time do we put in?
80 hours.
A shit ton.
70 hours.
Shit ton.
80 hours.
Probably I would actually be able to say at least 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Easily.
yeah.
I would put in 60 hours a week. I would consider that a really slow
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
You're
I would-
one
but-
person and the two.
but I would say yeah. I
I'm
put in
doing
about
both of your guys' jobs.
Yeah.
That's the problem with what
60
I do.
hours
is
a
that
week
Brad
with-
just opens
with-
product.
with basically
He does
creating
nothing else. He
But-
just opens
But
cards.
we could. I mean, I create more work for myself, so I
Right.
mean, I could probably cut that down to like 40. I could
Right.
probably actually work a 40-hour a week job doing this, but I try to go above and beyond.
See, I do-
You're
I do
you're
everything.
only going to get what you put into it. So
Which is why I put everything into it.
I could put
Yeah.
40 hours a week, but
100%.
our business is going to run as a 40-hour a week business.
So that goes back to what you were asking earlier about, do you work as hard now? So if we didn't work as hard now, everything else would suffer, and we would we would no longer be successful.
Right.
So how do you? It looks like both of you guys have gotten help from other people helping you break stuff. How do you scale this? Like it's really big. You're probably two of the biggest breakers, breaking cards right now. How does it get bigger, or can it get bigger? Do you hire more people? Can you break more? What's the path to you guys get? We sit here a year from now, and you're like, wow, my sales. I'm 50% more sales, 100% more sales. Is it possible? Are there enough hours in the day? I mean, you're already putting in 60 hours.
I think-
How do you get bigger?
I think what it comes down to is that if you are to expand, you need to bring somebody else in. There's only X amount of hours and X amount of days that will allow you to expand. Can said breaker start running 3 channels 16 hours a day? Maybe. Could it get that big? Maybe.
Is it the personalities? People want to come watch you, want to come watch Brad, want to come watch Rich. Like, is it your personality? I couldn't get on there and just start breaking and fill a break.
right.
But the thing is that you need to, if you're going to hire somebody, you need to bring somebody in that fits your culture.
Yep.
Right.
And it is probably the hardest
It's so
thing
hard to do.
that you would ever, like, we
It's
were
so incredibly hard to do.
we have been fortunate over the years that we have had Billy, who did a great job for us, basically jumped in, understood our culture, and basically helped grow our business. We brought in James. James basically did the same exact thing, helped us out, build our culture, build the brand. We brought in Conrad, and Conrad basically took us to a completely new level. We had never hired somebody who was not remote. We never hired anybody who was working out of the same offices that we were doing. It changed our complete dynamic. Again, trying to find that person, needle in a haystack.
Yep.
Needle in a stack of needles, man.
You can't find that person. But when you do, I do gotta say this: that person's helping you build your business, and you have to treat that person like they're not an employee to you.
It's family.
They are not even necessarily. In fact, they are the business with you. They are basically growing this, and they are a part of it just as much as you are.
Right.
I pride myself in my managerial styles of never micromanaging anybody. I will never tell somebody, hey, do this shit right now. I have an approach where I go, help me out with this. Let's do this together. Tell me what, like, I will jump in and help you, but you have to do it as a group effort, and you can't tell somebody, I need this done on this day. That shit's done. Like, nobody manages that way. You have to basically manage. Amazon, you work for Amazon. They're not going to fucking tell you. They're going to give you deadlines. They're going to have what is expected of you. But they're never going to have some fucking manager come up and be like, I need my fucking TPS reports fucking right now. Not going to happen.
See my stapler?
You see my stapler. The way of managing now is, dude, a lot of those people from Amazon and Google, they work at home. They fucking never even show up at the office.
Yep.
They just hang out. They have what is expected of them, and there's nobody breathing down their throat of get this. I will never tell somebody who works for me, I need this done. right now. I will be like, let's do this right now. Let's do this together. I will jump in and I'll fucking help you out. Like, let's figure it out. This is what we need to get done. What do you need to make this happen?
To put it in like what you're saying is like to be able to find somebody that's like able to help you out and understand your business model is extreme. It's not going to happen. Like like to find people that have the knowledge that can break cards and that like know every card that are going to be dedicated.
What we're going to say is that nobody's going to care.
It's such a niche industry. Like what we got to keep in mind here is that like this is such a niche industry that you're never going to find people like that. Like we got fortunate. Like we got blessed by somebody that like shares our same vision. But like it's not like somebody that's going to I run a 7-Eleven and I got to I'm going to interview clerks and we're going to find somebody. You're not going to be able to find that person by interviewing people. It's just extremely hard, and you can't. The niche industry prevents you from being able to find people that share like-minded. Just like, if you collect cards, to put this on like people that collect cards, how many friends do you have that collect cards? And we can all say 1, 0. Like nobody collect cards, so you can't share that with anybody. So to be able to find somebody that can like break cards with you is very tough.
And plus, nobody, and you're going to relate to this, nobody cares about your business as much as you do.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to find somebody who's like, I care about your business more than you do.
No.
Nobody. Not in this industry. Like, I would love to be able to be like, I want to basically nurture and love your business more than you.
Right.
Like, I'd be like, you're hired. I love you. Are we best friends?
Yeah.
We just became best friends.
I got a spare room.
Yeah, you want to move in? We're gonna.
Sure.
Like nobody's gonna care about the growth of your business, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Like why would somebody work for somebody and be like, I'm gonna basically make you as successful as fuck, but I'm not gonna reap any of the benefits of it.
Okay, so
nobody's
view
ever
on
gonna do
this
that.
Question actually is a little is it's gonna come from a different angle. I feel like the group breaking industry needs to grow with help of the manufacturers. I mean, point blank.
And what could they do?
Okay, so it's halftime of the Super Bowl. I know it takes millions of dollars to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
But why is there no advertisements? Why? If they're willing to pay millions and millions and millions of dollars for these licenses and licensees, where is the money going? Where does it go? If we're making it back for them, why are we not getting our products advertised?
I'll tell you. I'll answer that question.
I mean, no, seriously. Why is during the playoffs of baseball, why are we not seeing advertisements for Bowman and Topps? Why are we not seeing... We may see an ad occasionally on MLB Network promoting Topps Series 1 or Topps Chrome. Not Tier 1. We're not appealing to the collectors that are coming back in the industry that don't know about autograph cards and don't know about what's a bat knob. They don't know. And we're not advertising that to them. We're not letting them know, hey guys, the industry's still here and it's alive and it's kicking. And if you want to come back in, we offer this. We're not showing them this. We're showing them the base cards and we're showing them hey, here's a rookie base card. This is what you can collect. We're not showing them the good stuff. Ever. Why? Why are we not advertising National Treasures? Why are we not advertising Flawless? Why are we not advertising Tier 1? Why are we not advertising Transcendent? You don't see commercials for anything high-end, ever. It doesn't exist.
Do the manufacturers promote you guys? Do they... Okay, they don't promote the product, but do they let customers know, hey, you can not only buy a pack, you can not only buy a box.
You can get them here.
You can go to this site and get your favorite team, or get your favorite.
And this is how it works.
And that's something that they can definitely
Absolutely.
work on. But let me tell you something about to play devil's advocate. It's what I do. advertising.
It costs a shitload of money.
No, but it does. You're sitting there in a boardroom
Shitload
and you're
of
like,
money.
hey, we're gonna throw $180,000 in advertising, right? Let's just
It's
throw that
gone in
number out there.
10 seconds.
So it's gone instantly, but there's no direct benefit right away. That's the thing. Like, everybody's like, I want to see a return on my investment right away. Well, with advertising, you may not see a return in your investment for 6 months or a year. That's why it's not a sexy investment as a manufacturer.
No.
You never, like, you can't track it. You don't know where that money is going. You could literally throw $250,000 away on an advertising campaign and not actually be able to record.
You can't track it.
You can't track it and record it. So they look at it and go, we can either do a $500,000 marketing campaign on MLB Network, or all the top execs can get an extra $40,000 a year. The people who vote for that are the top execs. Where do you think they're going to vote? Do you think they're going to be like, ad campaign? Said nobody ever there who's like, $40,000, sick vacation. Doing it. Doing that. I'm going that route. That's the thing. If you can track the advertising and go, our advertising campaign brought in $1 million. We spent $200,000. We brought in $1 million. That would be a perfect world, and they would go towards that.
However, I'm answering the question. I'm answering your question. Like, I truly do believe that, just like you said, Ryan, you said, can the manufacturers actually tell you, hey, you can go here and get this for this, and all you have to do is this. You
Advertise
like
for you, essentially.
No kidding. Right. I feel like, first off, you're already talking about manufacturers with exclusive deals with the sports that they deal with. You already know that Panini has an exclusive license with the NFL. Why doesn't the NFL, if the NFLPA and Panini are so close friends, why don't they talk to each other in terms of advertising with each other? Why is there zero cross promotion? None.
Well,
there's nothing.
I mean,
I have never seen
Where's
a
the
Panini
group
commercial.
break directory on Panini's website?
There
On
isn't
Tops
one.
as well. I know you guys can't answer
There's
this.
a shop directory
right.
that's been there on the night slants for the last 20 years.
Right.
It's the same one. There are so many on that list that don't exist
Right.
anymore. And haven't for many years. Still on the list. It's the same list. It's a copy-pasted list.
Aren't you guys, the volume that you guys do, just on a sales level, it's got to be astronomically bigger than 99.9% of hobby shops are not busting through. I mean, I used to own a hobby shop, so I know you're not going through like cases and cases and cases of cards. Why isn't the focus, as it seems to have been in the last 6 or 7 years, to breaking? Why haven't the card companies pushed marketing dollars, marketing employees? I mean, like you said, they have this hobby shop list. They have employees who do marketing for them. Maybe there is some kind of advertising budget. Do Panini or Topps or Upper Deck ever reach out to you guys and say, how can we help you market your business? How can we help you reach more customers?
No.
Is that a conversation
Said nobody.
Because honestly,
Distributors.
However,
distributors have tried to do that.
However,
they've tried to reach out. And
that's
be like,
actually not true.
What can we do?
There's-
And I'm like, you guys are
just
like.
so we're clear, I have actually been reached out to by Topps.
What was the offer? Like, what did they offer you?
They offered dialogue, which is more than I have been reached out to by Topps. I've been reached out to by Upper Deck. You know, I've been offered certain things by Panini in terms of like, well, we can do this for you or that for you in terms of like exposing you at an event. We can set you up at this event. They've never panned out, at least with the Panini part. I'm just being honest. They never panned out. I got invited once to do one thing and it didn't pan out. That was the end of that. Other people have been invited and they take advantage of that on a regular basis.
Other breakers?
Yes. So for me, I mean, I just want dialogue. I want to have an open dialogue with the manufacturers. That's all I ask for in terms of having my imprint on what we do. You know, I'm not asking. I know we do a lot more than hobby shops, but I don't want more influence in them. I don't expect more. I own a hobby shop. We've owned multiple hobby shops. You know, I don't feel like I need any special attention because I do more product than Joe. And Joe's doing his best with what he's got. You know, Joe's card shop down the street. He's only got 20, 30, 40 customers coming to his shop on a monthly basis, and he's doing what he can. Doesn't mean he doesn't know anything less about the industry than I do. And I'm not trying to take away from that. I never will.
Do you think he deserves the same attention from Topps or Panini? Like, because you guys do
I think his
so much more sales,
should be valued on the same
level?
Absolutely. At least to an extent. I mean, yeah. You know.
What about other breakers? What about a new? I just come hot shot new breaker. I come into town. Should I have the same influence as you guys?
I think it depends. I think it really depends. If they're doing things the right way and they have knowledge about the industry, then yeah. However, if it's just some guy off the street that's just trying to make a buck, probably not.
I think it's a catch-22 on there though, because I think that it's easy to be like, well, sure, a card shop, they should have the same say. That's fine. But a group breaker, that's hitting a little close to home. So I think all of us get very defensive, and they're like, well, fuck that guy. Like, that guy hasn't put in the work. But a hobby shop, we're like, yeah, he's not gonna get in the group break, and he's not a competitor. He's not gonna fucking rip money out of my fucking pocket. But said group breaker who's on Facebook,
right,
could start undercutting my prices. So I think we're all a little defensive about that. We're like, wait a second, that guy hasn't put in the time, effort, money, or years of trying to build a brand.
Right.
So why the hell is that guy getting special treatment? I think we may not want to say that, because that doesn't really come off as like
being
we're
fair.
We're holding the guy who's starting to try up and fucking do his thing. We're holding them down. We're being a dicks. But that's all what we're thinking. Like that truly is like what we're all thinking. Fuck it. Fuck that guy. Why does that guy didn't fucking put any work? Fuck that guy. That guy shouldn't get any fucking special fucking privilege. Why?
Hashtag FTS.
Hashtag FTS.
What's hashtag FTS?
Fuck that shit.
Oh, fuck that shit. I thought you were like a breaker. I was like, ooh.
That's from like the first summit.
So he should start that
First
business
summit.
though.
But
FTS.
oh, the first summit, I was like,
That was from the first summit we were all
dude,
together.
it was a
He
summit.
had a lady scream in his face about not getting her
You were
cards
there.
on time.
Yeah,
Scream
you were
there.
there.
The year
In his face.
Kevin Isaacson was like, hey, can you guys do the Panini
double
case
sold.
break? And all the double sold.
That's why I'm not allowed at the summit anymore,
Yeah.
because I was like, Kevin, you double sold it. He tried to get me to say that you didn't double sell the spots, and I was like,
Oh, you did.
I was like,
Oh, you did,
I'm
Kevin?
all, Kevin, you were out there accepting money for spots that we sold for you, and then you left. Fucking left us out there to fucking literally die. I'm all. That was. I mean, we can go off and on. Like, I mean, that's where the hashtag FTS fuck that
yeah.
shit. I have never.
I have just
never
so we're
been,
clear, we had nothing to do with that break.
No, and
We had nothing to do with the
and-
breaks that
and
they
the double
took
sold.
on to
and
do.
we
we felt so bad,
We started working for you guys.
We
And
dropped
this is-
everything
and
we
this
were
is-
doing and started sorting and shipping for Mojobreak that night.
and this is
I'm not
actually,
kidding. That's what we did. We were like, we can't leave these guys.
This
because
speaks-
It was
they
like
just
case
got
after case, and it was
they
like
just got
time was running out.
screwed.
Yeah.
This
They
speaks volumes for our industry as a whole, like the group breaker. Like, you guys definitely jumped in, helped us out. Larry from Live Case Break was in there, like like opening up cards and hanging out. Like it shows that's like basically the grassroots of like where it really came together. Like and the thing is that the group breakers who do it the real way, the right way, the way that we all hold ourselves to a certain standard of doing, there's a community there. Unlike any other section of this industry.
Yeah.
You have online realtor. Dave and Adam and Blowout, they wouldn't be fucking hanging out doing a podcast together.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Still city. No.
If you paid them enough.
But we have always had an open dialogue with each other. We've always been like, if I do something that you don't agree with, I would expect you to call us out and be like, don't do this way, you're doing it wrong, or this is the way that you guys may not want to do it. And rightfully, I would expect you to respect me doing the same exact thing to you. Like, we have a community, we have like a mutual respect for each other.
We already do that.
We
well,
do.
I think
This podcast may not know that,
but
that's why we do it together.
That already happens.
We do. There is a unity
camaraderie.
between group breakers that is, it's against the grain and the whole culture of this industry. We're basically changing it completely because it was never that way. Hobby shop owners thought of each other as competitors. I remember a Constant Contact that you were a part of, and I remember the person at the Constant Contact was like, hey, we're going to show you how to send out a blast email. And 2011. We had people stand up, shop owners, who were like, I'm not going to send out an email where my competitor down the street could steal my prices and undercut them. That was the first one. The next one was like, I don't want to pay for internet in my shop. I'm all, holy fuck, where are we?
Yeah.
I'm like, we are 2011. This guy doesn't want to pay for internet in his fucking shop. I'm all, okay.
Well, I mean,
I was like, I'm all, the divide between hobby shops at that point, I'm all,
at the end,
this is old money. This is old timing.
Left behind.
They're never going to be able to work together.
Yeah.
Group breakers, we started and we're like, we started as the outcast in the industry. We started out as like, manufacturers like, do we want to get on board with them? Do we like them? I'm not really sure. While that was going on, all of us just like band together and we're like, okay, cool.
We can
like,
do this.
Distributors, manufacturers, they don't really know what to think about us, but we're going to basically jump on board with each other. And we're going to build it. And if we build it, they will come.
Yep.
And they did. And that was basically, that's where it all fucking started.
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Basically, all of us being like, let's hold each other accountable. Let's bring, and I gotta say, like, it definitely is kind of a fraternity aspect. Like, we don't just let any Joe Blow into this.
That's true.
We don't. We like,
you gotta earn your stripes.
Said Facebook breaker who's basically doing it. Like, if he was to walk up right now, we'd be like, like,
who are you?
Who are you? And
right. What are you about?
What are you doing?
Right.
Certain people have been allowed into this fraternity.
Now, mind you, just so we're clear,
that's probably gonna piss a lot of people off, me saying that. 5
years ago, I made a phone call, or I'm not sure. He says he called me, but I don't think that's how it went. I made a phone call to Doug, and I asked him about something about how he was shipping product. How are you guys? Because we had just started. Now it was still small time. I was working out of a back bedroom in my apartment on a shaky table. The table shook.
We still have it.
Like,
we never got rid of it.
It didn't just shake
Literally.
like, a little bit. It was like the table had Parkinson's. It was brutal. You couldn't do anything on this table. That's what we had, and we made do. We
kept it.
We tried to do what we could, and every time I touched the table, it just shook like a leaf for a solid 2 minutes. Just touch it. It was like, it just wiggled back and forth. Couldn't stack cards on it for shit. You couldn't do anything. It was just a table. It was the most useless thing in the world. I called Doug and I had this shipping issue. Wasn't sure how to fix it. we're having an issue where we're having too many orders and we couldn't ship everything through PayPal. I'm like, what do you guys use? I flat out called Doug and I said, how does this work? What are you doing? You guys are doing way more breaks than us. You guys are doing way more volume than us. What are you doing? How are you keeping up? And he walked me through it. This is what you get. This is what you need. Figure it out. Didn't, he didn't baby me through it. You got to get this. You got to get that. And gave me the steps. This is the steps you have to take. When you're done these steps, we'll talk again, type of thing. And he opened the door. He opened the door to an endless amount of possibilities for me. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And I said, Sara, oh my God, he does this and he does that. He uses this program, he uses that program. We started using those programs. We haven't turned back since that phone call. We have not turned back since that day. It changed my world. So we are clear, and I hear what you are saying about not allowing this guy in. You've got to earn your stripes and this, that, and the other thing. I've actually recently joined a couple of different Facebook groups that invited me in. One of my input on different subjects. I've had multiple shop owners actually send me emails about, hey, I know you're Rich Layton. I know who you are. I respect your opinion about this, that, and the other thing. I was wondering if you'd give me a few helpful hints on how to start breaking. And all I can think of is that phone call with Doug.
He helped you.
He helped me.
Now you pass it on.
How else? I mean, I probably would have hit a brick wall head on had he not helped me through that period. I was screwed. I did not know how to keep up with the orders. I did not know how to keep up with the shipping, how to keep it organized, what program to use, what to do. I didn't know the next step, how to handle the growth. I did not know what to do. And he didn't know who I was. We had not met. We just talked on the phone and that was it. We talked on social media, then we exchanged phone numbers, and
now
then
they
we
talk
spoke
like what, 5 times a week?
And now we're BFFs. And we talk on the phone every other day.
And I think, and like people would say, well, why would you do that? Like, why would you create a competitor? But the way I was viewing it as, I can't do this many breaks every week. I can't, fill, all these breaks. So if the pie gets bigger and more people get brought in, then we're all able to eat in a sense. So we need people that can all do what we're doing and we recognize that Rich is doing it. You guys are doing a great job, and that just helps everybody grow. And that's what I feel like manufacturers. That's what I feel other breakers we all need to embrace that. We can work together and grow this thing so that we can all eat in a sense. We can all have a piece of the pie.
Yeah, working together. I know it sounds so cliche and so corny. Oh, we need to work together and sing Kumbaya, but it actually works.
It does.
I mean, Coke and Pepsi don't look at each other and butt heads. They agree on pricing strategies. They agree on marketing. Well, they market differently, but they agree to work in harmony with each other. They both don't bankrupt each other. That's not their goal. They both want to succeed. Yeah. They know there's enough room for both to exist, and they exist in harmony.
Yeah. And you each having successful business, I can see how it kind of grows, because when a big hot product comes out, you couldn't break 50 cases in one day. You maybe could do 2, maybe you could do 2, and the other guy does 2, and then all of a sudden it really grows that way. Where if it's just one guy doing 1 or 2, the pie is, like you said, much smaller. Right. Whereas when you do 2, you do 2, this guy does 2, this guy does 2, and now all of a sudden the customer base gets bigger.
Well, we when we started, and I remember having a very vivid conversation with you, because you were you guys are in a situation where you have no competition. back in the day,
Right.
2011 at the summit, and I'm like, that we were still trying to build this idea and this plan where like people didn't really understand. So I'm like, we can't do this by ourselves. Like, we need competitors. Like, we need people who are doing
To
more
work
of this
with.
Right.
to basically
To grow the business.
spread
Right.
the
Let everybody know.
the niche industry
Yep.
that we are trying to expand
And legitimize it.
because
Right.
with one person doing it, if we would have only been the group breakers, we wouldn't be here right now. If we basically were the only group breakers, that facet of the business
would've
probably
ended
would have
so
never
quickly.
it would have
Yeah.
never grew.
You wouldn't have been able to handle it.
We always embraced competitors because we're like, the people who are doing it right are going to basically only make our brand and our industry bigger.
Right.
It was
I still feel that way.
it was a necessity for other people to do what we were doing. We would have never been able to been successful if it was just us. That is like the mentality where you're just like, I want to be the only guy on the block who does this. Well, you're gonna fail because you're not, especially with something that we were doing. We were like, wait a second, you sell sports cards, but you open them up for me? Fuck that.
Yeah. What's the fun in
I want to
that?
open up my own cards.
Right.
I don't want you opening up.
Yep.
We needed other people to do
To
this.
validate.
To validate it and basically make it a part of the industry. Like, I mean, let's face it. Manufacturers should be blowing us.
He said manufacturers should be blowing us.
If you didn't get that on microphone.
But they should be. Like, we took a category for them and put it into a fucking different level. Like, a level where there was execs getting paid a shit ton of money and they didn't do anything. Like, we changed. I hate this fucking phrase.
You keep saying it,
But
though.
we changed the game. I'm sorry. I fucking hate that phrase.
Clicheing the shit out of this
Somebody
place.
kick me in the fucking teeth right now. I fucking hate that phrase. That phrase is so bush league. Well, I like that phrase though.
Hey,
but
if it works, it works.
But now manufacturers are jumping on board because it's a proven fact that this is an avenue that they can move product through. Until something else comes along, and I like to think that all of us are very forward thinking. That we know that group breaking isn't going to be the thing in 20 years. It's going to evolve in something else. Like sports cards have evolved, everything evolves. You need to basically evolve and understand your surroundings and know that change is okay. You just have to embrace it.
Right.
But we, right now, we're the hot new sex. Like we're the sexy thing. Like group breaking right now is making manufacturers money. They're moving product. They're not being held accountable for making shitty product. We're basically being held accountable for their shitty product. So right now, they're gonna ride this shit out for as long as they possibly can until the next evolution, the next change. Now, who knows what it'll be, but you just got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to know that, like, shit will change.
Yep.
There will be something else that comes along that, I mean, you can sit there and look at digital cards. As a group breaker, how are we going to open up digital cards? Riddle me that. That's weird. How are we going to do e-pack breaks? How is that going to happen? Better figure out a way to do it. Are group breakers going to start doing digital packs? Are you going to start having a digital group break where people just buy a pack and then fucking cards like show up? There's limitless possibilities, but it will evolve. It will change. The thing is that like this industry's always had some changing in it, but it's an old industry. It's an industry that's fucking 100 years old. They've been making sports cards, people have been selling sports cards, and unfortunately the culture has been, it's a scumbag industry. I mean, I say that not trying to put us down
They
or
actually
you guys down.
mentioned the same thing at the Upper Deck conference.
But let's face it, this industry has been built around scumbags, and scumbags have really succeeded and made a lot of money doing this. I'm not going to say any names, but there's been a lot of shit that's gone down that I was talking to Rich last night. I'm like, we need to change the culture. The culture starts with the new guard, and you need to change. I don't want this industry to be known as like a scumbag industry. And we are people of influence and power. It's up to us to change that. Don't jump behind and
Brandon Cooks,
but those people, like, we need, when that, like, the first people who called that guy out shouldn't have been the blowout forms. It should have been us. It should have been us being like, you are fucking with what we built.
Yep. I agree with that.
It is, you need, like, that guy needs to be talked to by us.
We can't
like,
police every breaker. We got done talking about how we don't stop working.
You know what we could do? Be like, hey, so-and-so from this break, what distributor does he buy from? All right. Let's say, theoretically, he buys from X distributor. Well, what you do is you go to that distributor and go,
cut him off.
I am never buying from you again.
Right. Unless you tell me.
Unless
right.
You never sell to him again.
Right.
If he gets blackballed and he can't get product,
that's
and you can even use, because we buy it from Blowout. You guys purchase from Blowout.
Sure.
You can also tell Blowout, like, I'll never fucking give you a dime again. Ever. If you ever fucking sell to a guy who fucking does anything shady, I will fucking never give you a goddamn dime.
Yeah.
That is what we need to throw our fucking dick around and basically be like, this is the way it's going to be. We need to be the people. Like, we need to be the people to police it. Nobody's going to fucking, Panini ain't going to police it. Topps ain't going to police it. Upper Deck ain't going to police it. It needs to be us who basically go, this guy did us wrong. We need to take offense to that. And we need to basically find out that that person is never going to be able to buy in this industry again. Again, it takes fucking work. It takes time. It takes time. It takes work. But it's on us. It's on us. It ain't on anybody else.